Welcome to the audio of the non-religious spirituality book, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, a modern-day parable about practical spirituality. Chapter 3, Hungry Mind. To ascertain Travis's emotional state, Rishi asked,
Travis, you ready?
Travis gave a firm nod.
I'm more than ready. I've forgotten a lot. But Rishi, this time, I want to let it sink in deep.
Rishi felt encouraged.
That's good, Travis. And please challenge as you used to. You won't believe how much I liked our debates. It used to help me distill my thinking.
Well, you know I'm always happy to a challenge. You used to say there's a lot more to life than the life we're living. And boy, do I need to figure that out.
We all do, Travis, especially me.
Can we save all the attention for me, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Rishi smiled, happy Travis was engaging.
To discuss spirituality, we first need to understand the mind.
Wait, are brain and mind the same?
No, brain is the hardware, whereas the mind is the software and the data. The mind is your thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Based on your memories, experiences, habits, desires, and actions, the mind develops its unique personality.
So I thought the heart was the seat of emotions.
And not really, emotions first arise in the mind and then they affect different organs. If it's love or sadness, you will feel it in the heart or the chest. Anxiety and fear, you'll feel it in the stomach and so on.
Okay, I get it.
Travis, from the moment we are born,
Rishi touched his chest.
every one of us is looking for happiness.
I certainly am.
Those of us who are distraught are even willing to end their lives. That is the hold happiness has on us.
Travis turned sober.
Our minds are restless and hungry. Our eternally hungry minds rob us of our internal peace. Is the greatest irony of life. Our pursuit of temporary happiness steals our permanent happiness. It's the biggest blunder of our lives.
Travis cracked his knuckles.
Is being hungry wrong? The Houston Rockets had a saying, be humble, be hungry.
That was decades ago, Travis. How do you know?
It's my dad's favorite quote.
Travis rolled his eyes.
He's repeated it 1,000,000 times.
I love that saying. That is why the Rockets won back-to-back NBA championships. I remember after they won, Suchi and I went to Richmond Street, jam-packed with people and traffic. All the nightclubs stayed open till the morning.
That sounds like a blast.
It really was. Loads of fun. It was incredible for Houston to win championships twice in a row. See, hungry in their case meant focus and commitment, not complacency.
Well, how does that tie in with what you're saying?
When I say hungry, I'm talking about the nature of the mind, where it endlessly craves for more, gets bored with what it has, laments for what you have lost, fears to lose what you possess, and lives in constant anxiety about the future. As if that's not enough, the mind judges and compares you to the others. So even if your life is excellent, it will depress itself thinking about how others have it better. That's just plain crazy.
And true.
Yes, the mind is obsessively, compulsively possessive.
Travis smiled.
Is everyone's mind like that? I thought it was just me.
Yeah, you can go ask anyone. They'll admit their mind is restless and hungry.
Rishi raised his index finger.
Now, it's possible they don't see it that way because they haven't thought about it.
Travis tapped his thumb on the sofa.
But what's wrong with wanting more? Don't want to be bums and doing nothing.
No, not at all. We should be productive. Otherwise, society will decay. Work hard, make money, have a good family, and enjoy life. We should all absolutely do that.
Didn't you just contradict yourself?
No, look, there is no problem in enjoying life. The problem arises when the mind becomes solely dependent on external items for happiness. It doesn't know how to be happy by itself.
That sounds weird. What do you mean?
We can generate happiness internally, but we are not tuned into that. Our entire focus is external. Drug addicts aren't the only one who are addicted. We all are.
Rishi touched his forehead.
Our minds demand a higher and higher dose of things and emotions to feel the same high. Otherwise, we become unhappy. This is a vicious circle and robs us of our peace. And we lose control when we lose something that's dear to us.
Rishi eyed Travis carefully to gauge if his remark had reminded Travis about Nathan. Travis did not react. Rishi felt comfortable and continued.
We are addicted to our careers, money, status, relationships, you name it. Ask anyone if he or she has too much money, no one will say yes.
Travis shook his head.
I'll never say that.
Even a multi-billionaire won't.
I don't see a problem with that. I don't believe the quote, money is the root of all evil.
Actually, the quote is, the love of money is the root of all evil. It's the addiction to money that is bad.
Travis flared his nostrils. Rishi lifted his palms halfway.
Fine, I'll give you another example. An exercise buff who loves the adrenaline rush will push himself insanely, and yet not once will you hear him say, I'm overdoing it, even if he's harming his body.
That's funny, because I see them at the gym a lot. But I know what you're saying. Some of them take steroids to build muscles, which is a bad idea.
Travis, ask any woman if her husband could be a better spouse.
Rishi smiled.
Every woman will say, oh God, yes.
Hey man, have you been talking to my wife?
No, I've been talking to mine.
Oh man. Your examples, they're normal people. You really think we're addicts?
Absolutely. Since addiction happens over time, you feel it's normal. An addict doesn't recognize his addiction. He justifies it. I only smoke so many a day. I only drink so much. I only eat so much. I only play video games so much. And they tell themselves, well, I can give it up whenever I want. There's nothing wrong with alcohol. The question is, does it have control over us, or do we have control?
Travis nodded.
So, do we know when enough's enough?
Yes. Take phones. Teens to adults, we're all addicted. Some people, if they wake up, check their phones even in the middle of the night. It's a full-blown addiction.
Well, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, that's not a good habit. Even successful movie stars share how they feel abject depression when their movies begin to fail in a row. The need for constant success and adulation is a debilitating addiction.
Well, I don't like failure. I want every one of our apps to be a huge hit, but I never saw it as an addiction.
It is an addiction if failure sends you into a tailspin and causes deep depression. It's not just the desire for success, but the intense fear of failure can be an addiction too.
Wow, you hit the nail on the head. Fear of failure is a big problem for me.
Rishi nodded.
Later we'll discuss a few solutions for addressing anxiety. They have helped me.
Rishi lifted 2 fingers.
Addictions are bad for 2 reasons. First, we become a slave to things. Second, and more important reason, addiction prevents spiritual growth. It prevents our mind from calming down. An acquaintance of mine, he started a business 20 years ago. And today, he makes over $1 million a year.
Travis tapped the sofa's arm.
That's good for him.
Yeah, that is true. But to maximize profits, he doesn't hire senior level people in his business. So he has to work all the time.
He has the money. He should hire folks.
Yeah, you would think so. But, when he started 20 years ago, every penny mattered. Saving every penny is so ingrained in his psyche. Now it's a burden.
Well,
It's become a prison.
well, he's making good money. I don't see his problem.
You can have all the success and wealth, but if your mind is addicted, you'll miss out on life.
Your examples are about the rich. Are the poor ready for spirituality?
No, this isn't about rich versus poor. Even a homeless person can be as possessive about his belongings.
You're right. I've seen that.
A middle class family can worry constantly about their financial future and the future of their kids.
I can relate to that. My parents worried a lot.
Rishi turned dour.
Travis, many people who face serious problems worry obsessively and they lose the will to fight.
Travis closed his fist.
Everyone's got to fight.
Yeah, they do. But the fight's both external and internal. The internal fight is more critical. In bad situations, we lament what has gone wrong and imagine the worst outcomes. Our mind makes it worse by repeating it all the time. A horrible movie that plays non-stop. Our addiction is not just to the good things in life. We can get addicted to misery just as well.
Travis's face turned grim. He squeezed the sofa's arm. Rishi glanced away.
Travis, I feel for the people who are trapped in their problems, suffocated by their own mind. Our mind can be the most potent source of our sadness and suffering. It can make our life a veritable hell on earth. Addiction to misery is no fun.
Rishi, I don't see how anyone gets addicted to misery.
Travis tapped his thumb.
Addiction's such an extreme word. Even your acquaintance, I won't say he's addicted. I'd say he's passionate about making money.
Yeah, there is a big difference between passion and obsession. Passion drives you. Obsession possesses you. Passion lifts you. Obsession drowns you.
That's a narrow difference between the two. That's quite a nuance.
Rishi wagged his finger.
No, sir. It's a big difference. Passion never causes you to lose perspective. Obsession leaves you with no perspective. When you're passionate, you listen well. If things don't go your way, you regroup and continue to apply yourself. When you obsess, you stop listening. You turn blind, you judge others, blame others, and find ways to silence those who disagree with you.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing the difference now. That's a great point. Obsession versus passion.
Rishi touched his wrist.
Thank you. So, Travis, an obsessive mind can cause immense harm. People commit suicide or kill their lovers when their love is out of control. A dictator kills his own people when they rise against him because he's obsessed with his rule. Obsessions are our nemesis.
Travis shook his head.
Well, those are extreme cases, though, don't you think? Normal people probably aren't as crazily obsessed.
Fine, okay. Let me share some common examples. Our political leaders are so obsessed with partisan politics, they sacrifice the good of the country to serve their ideologies.
Those guys are self-serving leeches.
Travis pretended to dig his nails into his arm.
All they care about is themselves.
Yeah. Now, at social gatherings, rich men can't stop talking about how much money they're making and the toys they're buying. They don't realize money is their obsession.
Actually, showing off is their obsession.
Travis rolled his eyes.
Even their kids can be so arrogant.
Yeah, tell me about it. And there are some couples who are addicted to bickering. They're obsessed with highlighting everything their spouse does wrong.
Yeah, a guy on my team constantly badmouths his wife. I never say anything bad about my wife, ever.
Because you're afraid she'll find out.
Man, you know me too well.
Yes, yes, I do. Travis, take those who work all the time. Working long hours to meet a deadline is okay. Working long hours for decades robs people of their creativity and objectivity. It makes them resistant to change. They never realize how work became a chronic obsession. They're workaholics.
Travis cringed, remembering he is one, but did not see anything wrong with it. Rishi caressed his forehead.
All my life, I've put extraordinary pressure on myself to succeed. No one has pressured me. Not my parents, not my wife, but something inside of me wants to push hard and keep pushing. I'm very competitive. I'm my biggest critic. It drives me crazy. Yet I can't stop.
Travis felt uneasy, realizing he was not much different. Rishi put his fist on his mouth.
I started with nothing. And in all these years, I can't remember one day when I didn't wake up worrying about my job, my career, my bonus, my promotion. I've never had to sleep hungry, and yet I've never stopped having tension about money.
Yeah, money's the root of all my tensions as well.
Rishi's eyes drooped.
I am as obsessed as my penny-pinching acquaintance. 20 years have gone by. If only instead of worrying obsessively, I had spent my time relishing my life.
When it comes down to it, I worry obsessively too.
Like a father feeling for his son, Rishi said.
I know you do, Travis. I know you do. And I'd love to stop you from making the same mistakes I have made.
Your personal example about worrying obsessively really hits home for me.
Obsessions rob us of our peace. There's no two ways about it. Obsessions rob us of our peace. And I don't know if this is the case But if you're obsessed with Travis store, you will worry 24/7 about its future. Your objectivity will suffer and you will ignore warning signs to change course. Your obsession could become your undoing.
Travis tensed up, his mind full of cross currents. Feelings to admit things were bad and conflicting feelings to defend his company. Travis retreated into the sofa.
May I share a story about obsession?
Yeah, I love stories.
In ancient times, there was a rich kingdom that would randomly select an ordinary person to be king every 5 years. That person would rule the country and enjoy all the lavish luxuries. It was the biggest jackpot in the land. The only condition was that at the end of the 5 years, a boatman would transport the king to an island with wild animals, which meant the king would be eaten alive.
I wouldn't want to be king there.
No kidding. One year, they selected a wise man to be king. When his time was over, he came down from the palace happy and said his goodbyes with great joy.
Okay.
When the boatman was transporting the king, he asked the king, "Sir, are you okay?" The king replied, "I'm fine. Why do you ask?" The boatman said, "In 30 years, I have transported many previous kings. All of them came down from the palace crying. By the time I would reach halfway to the island, they would panic and would want to jump off the boat. Sir, do you know what awaits you?"
Hey, what did the king say?
The king said, "Oh my good boatman, our people have fantasized so much about the king's luxuries. Enjoying those luxuries has become an obsession among everyone. On their selection, the previous kings couldn't believe their luck and were sucked into spending all their time enjoying the good life. They forgot their time would come to an end."
Oh, I see where this story's headed.
Wait, here's the main part. The king continued, "I enjoyed the luxuries, but I never forgot what the future held for me. I have built a palace on the island, killed all the wild animals, and my family is waiting there for me."
Travis's eyes widened.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. I thought you were going to make a point about fixing obsession, but preparing for the next stage. That's beautiful.
When we become obsessed, we miss the big picture. You know this, we have boom and bust cycles in the economy and in the stock market. I remember at the height of the last boom, so many technology companies went through an IPO to raise money in the stock market. Many of these CEOs became billionaires overnight, at least on paper.
And they lost it all when the market crashed.
Yes, in boom times, those CEOs and their investors forgot the boom can end without warning. Their mind became hungry for more, and once the obsession had taken hold, they couldn't see the fire until it was too close.
Yeah, I've read those stories. You know, I really like the King Boatman story. We must be careful not to be obsessed.
Rishi smiled in satisfaction.
Yes, very nice.
Rishi touched his forehead.
I want to talk to you about the most potent form of our obsession. It envelops us and we don't even realize it.
Travis raised his eyebrows.
Wow. Okay.
End of chapter 3, Hungry Mind. Takeaways from this chapter. Brain is the hardware. Mind is the software and data. The mind generates thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Our minds are restless and hungry. The greatest irony of life, our pursuit of temporary happiness steals all permanent happiness. The mind is obsessively, compulsively possessive. Our own mind can be the biggest source of our unhappiness, anxiety, and stress in life. Managed fire is very useful. Unmanaged fire can cause great harm. Manage your mind. Enjoy the world, engage with it, just do not be addicted to it. Passion lifts you, obsession drowns you. Relish today. Do not let the past or the future stop you from enjoying today. Today will not come back. Have passion, but no obsessions. Our obsessions and addictions keep us from becoming happy and peaceful. When we become obsessed, we miss the big picture.